Hello everyone, welcome to another live video out here at this park. And yeah, in this one we're going to talk about what the narcissist will secretly be up to towards the end of the relationship and before they leave you. Gradually you will start notice that they devalue everything that you were doing up until that point. Everything you did for them. They may even tell you it never meant anything, or they didn't really enjoy it. And yet they had you doing more and more for them. And they kept telling you to do more, to give more, to invest more into the relationship of your time, money, energy, everything. But this is the thing about it, because some of you think that everything you were doing for them, that it was actually doing something for them, when really it wasn't. It was just keeping them afloat. Narcissistic people who are self-absorbed and lack empathy. There's a reason why they lack empathy and why they're self-absorbed. And it's because they can never be satisfied. They can never be happy with anything. They're always wanting, expecting more. And they're constantly chasing, thinking that one day they're going to get it, if they just find the perfect supply. Of course, it never happens, and they get frustrated because they see that you can be happy, you can be grateful with less than what you're giving and doing for them. And that's why, it's really to no end with them. They are never satisfied. And what they really need is a source of supply for life, so that they can endlessly remain disconnected from themselves, dissociated. Because that's the only way that they can feel any sense of comfort from within. And even then, it's not from within. This is... they have nothing within. They're completely empty. So it's all just a distraction from the inside, from the emptiness. And that is what they used you for. And yeah, they gradually devalued everything you were doing for them. And they were gossiping about you to everyone. Blaming you. Saying that you were the problem, when you were the one who was helping them. You were the one who was keeping them afloat all of that time. And you were really the reason why they didn't lash out at their boss or their friends. You were the reason for that, of how they remained calm for all of that time. Because if it wasn't you, they would have taken it out on someone else. Now, everyone else outside of the relationship, they didn't get to see that side of them. And that's because they had you. That was your purpose. That's what you were for. That's what they used you for. But then gradually you become a problem for them, because they've caused all of these issues for you. They've really just destroyed you. And it gets to a point where it's like, You know, they're telling everyone that you're the problem. So they start to look foolish for being with you. It starts to affect them. So because of that, and also because, you know, they can't really do anything for you. They were wearing a mask. They gave you a false self in order to manipulate, lure you into the relationship. So naturally, all they can do as these problems begin to mount up, and they really just drain you, exhaust you, all they can really do by the end of it is pull away, become distant, withdraw. And so that's exactly what they do. And this then creates confusion and doubt in you. It makes you question yourself. You start to wonder, regardless of how perfect you were for them. That's irrelevant, because when you're dealing with a narcissist, you're disconnected from yourself. You're disassociated yourself. You don't even know who you are. You are whoever they need you to be, which converts into supply for them in that moment. So you don't recognize your worth. You don't think about everything you did for them. And they make you think that you're just inherently bad for whatever reason. So you have to keep giving, and you can't compare it to what other people are doing in their relationships with you. It's different. It's a unique situation. How is it that I can say this and thousands of you have experienced it? Because they use this same narrative with everyone that they deal with. And it's actually just a projection, because they do know at some level that something is seriously wrong with them. They may not understand that they have a mental illness, but they know that they are broken. They know that they deceived you, they tricked you. They know that they didn't deserve you. And of course, that's why after leaving you, they rush off to idealize a new supply. Someone else to prop up onto the pedestal. Someone else to give them attention, admiration, validation, because they're feeling insecure. And so they use this new person, and they come together in this perfect union to validate each other. It works because the narcissist hasn't learned this person yet, and this person hasn't figured out the narcissist. So they're both able to enter this shared fantasy, just as you did with the narcissist at the beginning, and everything seems perfect. It's this perfect distraction from what they were dealing with you. And they're also able to flaunt this to you and get negative supply to further make you think that something was wrong with you the entire time. As though this new person has no problem with them. And then on top of that, they also round up all of their flying monkeys that they've been spreading rumors to, gossiping about you all of this time. Now everyone is attacking you. Everyone is seeing you as the problem. It's affected your reputation. You could even lose your job because of this. It really affects your self-esteem. And especially since so many people are looking at you now like something is wrong with you. It just ingrains this belief in your minds. And it's almost like you develop like an alter ego, like another personality. Like around them, you really think that that's who you are. And it really affects your self-esteem. because that's who they've trained, conditioned you to be in order to serve their emotional needs, in order to feed their ego, in order to help them to continue disconnecting from themselves. This is all gaslighting. It's all designed to make you question your reality. And it's all fake. But it's very confusing for you because they withdrew affection and attention without explanation. It leaves you searching for answers. And naturally, because you're actually a good, kind-hearted person, you're empathetic, you go within for those answers. You question yourself. Just the natural assumption for you is that you must not have been good enough. And they love that. They'll play on that. Because they don't ever want to have to look at themselves and think that they weren't good enough. Because they can't do anything about it. They can't be anything better. That's why they just blamed you. That's why they gaslit you. So that's really the end goal of this, is to make you just question yourself, doubt your worth. That's the whole purpose of it. And that's why they often like to test your reactions to see how much control they have over you. Because they're very insecure. Deep down, they know they're no good. They know they're not worth anything. They know they have no value. That's why they've got to get validation from you. And you're the type of person who really you just see the best in people. That's why they picked you. They would have picked you if you were skeptical, distrusting. They picked you because you trust very easily, because you believe what you see. And that's how you're perfect for supply, for validation. And that's how, in the end, they're able to make you feel responsible for the fallout. And they do that by discarding you without closure, leaving you shocked and bewildered. And then they move on quickly like nothing happens. Because that's what they do, that's what they've always done. They want all of the power in the relationship, the dominance, the authority. But what they don't want is responsibility. Because while they may look like adults, they're not adults. They are children, unruly children in adult bodies. And that's how they often throw these tantrums. They're very unstable. They're emotionally underdeveloped, immature. And they're going about the world searching for a caretaker, a parent, someone to look after them, until they end up destroying that person. And this is it, it could be really shocking when you encounter these people. When you just see how out of control they are, how undisciplined. It's really like a child. They just can't control themselves at all. They're just all over the place. They can't take care of themselves. They need someone to take care of them. And not just financially. Because sometimes it can be a financial thing as well. But mostly, It's because their emotional needs were not met as children. So now they constantly need someone to pacify, to appease them. And this is in reference to Professor Sam Vaknin's dual mothership theory. They didn't get the attention, the validation they needed as a child. So now they have to operate with a false character. They have to perform. They've got to have a false image. They've got to trick people, deceive them. And it's all just for validation. False validation. For something they're not. Or that they know they're not. And it's all because they don't feel good about themselves. Because there's no reason for them to feel good about themselves. And that's how it all revolves around emotion. That's how they often throw these tantrums. There's no logical explanation to it, to their behavior. And that's how by you trying to understand it, it just makes you crazy. Because there is no logical explanation. It's all just made up. It's all just fabricated. But yeah, this is the shocking thing that they do before they leave you at the end of the relationship. And it can be really shocking because you think, did my loyalty, my devotion not mean anything? Did it not matter to them? And no, it didn't. Here's the truth. Nothing has any meaning to the narcissist. Their lives are meaningless, purposeless, empty. That's how they're like thrill seekers, adrenaline junkies, always seeking the next high. Whether that's through the idealization, devaluation, destroying someone, ridiculing them. They're just seeking a high. And that's all that it is, everything they do is just to try to make themselves feel better. And it's so empty. It lacks purpose, meaning, connection. And that is their life. They live their life, but it's like they've never lived at all. It's like, what was the point in any of it? And that's exactly how you feel at the end of it. What was the point in any of this? It was purposeless, meaningless. Because that relationship, it had no value. There was no value to it. It was just you, a high value person, serving someone who is low value and is never going to have any value. How could there be any meaning or purpose to that? There couldn't. There wouldn't. There shouldn't. But you do find purpose in coming back to yourself, working on yourself. Because you do have value and you don't only just care about yourself. You are looking to provide value to the world. And there is meaning in that. That's the difference. And that's why they specifically targeted you, because they could see that. They could see, yeah, this person has value, meaning to give to the world. I'm going to hop on that. I'm going to take control of that for myself. That's how they thought. And that's why that's exactly what they did. Because all they care about is themselves. And that's how, I've had clients who are doctors, professionals, business owners, targeted by narcissists. Because they don't care about your potential. Yes, some narcissists, they may act self-righteous. They may even act on behalf of victims. or people who they say are victims, they don't really care about anyone but themselves. It's all just superficial validation. It's all just about what they can get out of it. And that's why they're never happy. That's why they're never satisfied. And that's why we are the ones who become their targets. But you will find value, meaning, purpose, happiness outside of them. You're never going to find that while you're around them, because they extract that from you. They suck the life out of you. That's what narcissists do. They get energy vampires. And you can never fill them up. They can never be satisfied to the point where they can then reciprocate anything back to you. They can only give you an illusion to get you to keep feeding into it, to keep you stuck. And if that doesn't work, sometimes they'll brainwash you. They brainwash you through devaluing you, through targeting your confidence. That's the quickest way to brainwash anyone. Just make them think that whatever path they're going on, whatever they're confident in, whatever they believe in, is bad or wrong. And you can direct them wherever you want. It's that easy to brainwash someone. Just target their confidence. But yeah, once you leave the narcissist, or once they've left you, eventually, things are going to start getting better for you. And they're going to notice that. They're going to see you have replenished your value. And they will try to come back. Because they're never going to find anything within themselves. And they'll likely never find a better source of supply than you again. So, typically they will keep returning. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Drop it in the live chat down below. It is very cold out here. So it's difficult to do my long videos like I used to. And not only that, I want to make sure I've got some time for the gym after this. I'm very focused on my workouts these days. But of course, you know, this channel is a priority for me. Making sure that I put out these videos. And I will have my first video on my other channel, which I've just begun. It's called What Men Aren't Told. So hopefully I will be getting it up tonight. All right, let's see what we got here. 33 years old, says long time listener here. How would you explain narcissism to an 8-year-old? Well, first off, for me personally, I wouldn't. I wouldn't subject a young child to that kind of damaging information. Talking about narcissists, evil people. I mean, think about it. There's a reason why we don't subject our children to certain types of movies. There's a reason why they have an age rating. Because it could damage them. It could mess up their minds. So you've got to be very careful. And typically what you want to talk about is boundaries. That's the most important thing in protecting children or protecting anyone, is boundaries. So you need to make it clear to the child, this is who you are, this is your body, this is where you end and other people begin, this is where they end and you begin. And you need to make it clear what the boundaries are. So have the child to write down what is okay and what is not okay for them, what they like and what they don't like. And you yourself as a parent or guardian, you might want to set certain rules as well. Such as for a child in school, you may want to instill the what's acceptable for them in terms of people getting too close or touching them inappropriately. But it's not about, instilling in their minds that there's all of these horrible, scary people out there. You don't want them to be afraid. You want them to feel confident in setting those boundaries and then protecting themselves. And also in knowing that there are authority figures out there to protect them, such as teachers. Of course, that's another thing, because many teachers are narcissists themselves, and that's why they gravitate to those positions for attention and validation and a sense of control from the children and superiority. But that's for another video. But yeah, that's what I would advise, is it's about boundaries, the separation. Wherever there is enmeshment, it's going to be toxic. It's going to be abusive. People are not going to know who they are or what they want. Amanda Surley 3343 says, I had a terrible childhood. I had no attention. I'm not an intentional demon. No excuses for what they intentionally do to decent people. You're not alone. I'm sure, we've all had horrible childhoods. Everyone has, we've all experienced trauma as a child. There's no one in this world who hasn't. We all have. And not only that, we've all traumatized people ourselves. Maybe not to the extreme that narcissists do. I don't think any of you have ruined anyone's life. But we've all caused trauma to other people. And we may look back and feel quite guilty about that. That's the important thing. That you may feel bad about it, that you learn from it, that you want to do better. That's how you know that you're not the narcissist. So, this isn't about beating ourselves up. This is about taking accountability, yes, but also encouraging people to move forward. Because we are not going to get anywhere, if we keep looking at ourselves and everything we've done wrong, our flaws. I mean, yes, of course, look at it, accept it, learn from it. But don't keep writing on about it. We've got to get on with it. Can you imagine if our ancestors did that? We wouldn't even be here today. So, yeah, it's no good. It's not going to get you anywhere. And honestly, I look back at myself sometimes and I think, if I had that mindset several years ago, there would be no Narc Survivor. I would have inspired tens of millions of people around the world. And actually, not just tens of millions of people around the world, potentially billions of people. Because before I started making these videos, potentially 99% of people in the world didn't even know what a narcissist was. Now everyone knows. So, yes, accept your flaws, accept your mistakes. Of course, that's very important. To take accountability so you can learn from it and be better. But still, keep looking forward. Keep moving forward. Don't stop. And if anyone is trying to hold you back, cut them off. Find a coach. Find someone who's going to motivate you to be better. Why would you ever want to go back? It doesn't make any sense. And anyone who ever tries to hold you back, they're toxic, they're narcissists. Cut them off. Forget them. Don't let anyone blame and shame you. But yeah, I'm just out here right now, spitting this truth. We are all learning, we are all growing every day. Yes, we do make mistakes. But there comes a point in time where you've got to keep growing, you've got to keep moving forward. After, of course, after you've come out and you've accepted yourself, you've learned from your mistakes, then you move forwards, of course. You don't do what narcissists do. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you do things wrong, like you've hurt or upset people, and then you're just like, oh well, keep moving forward, and then you just do the same thing again. No, that's what narcissists do. That's exactly what they do. We accept our mistakes, we learn from them, and we try to make amends. We apologize, try to repair the connection the best we can, and then we move forward. That's what we do. That's what we do because we are honest, authentic, and responsible. And I can tell you this, the narcissists, they're very jealous of you. They wish they could be like that. They wish they could have the courage, the confidence. But that is something they will never have. Anyway, as I said, I am off to the gym. I'm going to do my workout now. Looking forward to it. If this information benefited you today, give it a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments what you thought about it, about my ideology. Let me know if you agree with it. Let me know if you've got anything to add to it. Let me know if you've got any questions. I'm always learning myself. I'm definitely not perfect. I'm always looking to learn more and be wiser. So share it with us. And if you'd like to hear more from me, subscribe. Follow me on my TikTok, Instagram, it's Narc Survivor Coaching. On X, it's Narc Survivor 18. And we have a Facebook group, it's Narc Survivor. New blog posts every day on the website, narcsurvivor.co.uk. And you can book a one-on-one with me on there as well. And if you would like to support my work, you could donate. Go to paypal.me/narcsurvivor. All right. That is it for this one today. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon.